Warning: sensitive images.
On Wednesday, February 23rd, our most beloved Supreme Master Ching Hai, while still in her retreat to help the planet, kindly gave insights on a variety of topics in a conference with Supreme Master Television team members. Some of the questions raised concerned recent world events.
Between the end of October and today, coming towards the end of January, we've had 80 outbreaks of avian flu in this country. And for the first time, some person in the southwest of England has contracted avian flu. For some reason, the government seemed to think that it's okay to breed and slaughter over 1 million animals in the UK every year, a large number of which are chickens and pigs, over 90% of them in intensive industrial farms where disease is rife. And the conditions mean that antibiotics are overused and misused. It is extraordinary that today it was deemed that the evidence we've submitted, 1,200 pages of it over, is not enough to warrant a hearing for a judicial review. Absolutely unbelievable.
Does anyone enjoy wearing these masks? Does anyone think about why we're wearing them? Does the government give us stuff if we have to wear them? The government had the chance today to protect people from another zoonotic pandemic that could come from a UK factory farm. It failed to address those issues. The science about pandemics is huge. The risk of getting a pandemic from an avian flu or swine flu starting in this country is real, but that was not addressed. The risks of antibiotic resistance, killing 3,480 people every day right now, were not addressed.
Master, a recent case heard by the Royal Courts of Justice in London, UK, says the British government has not looked at the evidence of the immense harms caused by animal people factories to humans and animal people, and thus violates the European Convention on Human Rights and UK's Human Rights Act of 1998. If the court is for justice, why did it reject the case, Master?
I told you we don't have many law-abiding citizens in this world. Just the fact that the English citizens have to bring the cruelty and human harm to the court's attention, that means they are already violating the animal people protection law.
Yes.
The UK has them as animal people protection law. Every country, you see it everywhere, not just in England, but I'm glad that it started somewhere.
Yes, Master.
I told you already, if I were not a spiritual master, I would sue the whole world for breaking their own law.
Yes.
Nobody can sue them because they make the law.
Yes.
That's the thing, up to now. Somebody has to start somewhere. It's a very gentle approach already. They just brought it to their attention, all that harm done to humans and animal people through the meat-eating diet and animal people products. But of course the court would reject it. What do you expect, huh?
Right, Master.
They still having that piece of meat in one hand and the other hand, how could they sign it?
Yes, Master.
And their mouths are still stuffed with the animal people bleeding. Raw, medium rare, whatever rare what they want it. So how can they agree with the petitioners?
Right. Yes.
Maybe the court should study more, give them a little time. This is just a very gentle nudge and excuse, but they all know about it.
Yes, Master.
How can the court not know the law of their own country? Right?
Yes.
They're supposed to be the judge
Yes.
and to catch all the people who break the law. So they know everything, right?
Right, Master.
Yes.
Right. And even if, suppose, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they did not know, They could always look into it. Look up the law on the internet.
Yes.
I give them a hint. Look it up on the internet. Look it up. Look it up in your book of law. Look it up on Supreme Master Television. We remind you, almost daily about your law concerning the brutal treatment of the animal people, and thus bringing a lot of zoonotic diseases to harm and kill humans.
Yes.
Yes.
They are just there, but that doesn't mean they do anything justly.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just a small or big criminal here and there, but when it comes to their own, they don't judge themselves.
Yes.
Right, Master.
Right.
I don't know anyone else who can judge them. I don't know anybody else who can bring them to court either, because they are the court.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't just blame England alone. The whole world is like that.
Yes, true.
Yeah, they just turn a blind eye to all this brutality and atrocity that is measured daily on millions and billions of innocent animal people.
Yes.
And I don't know how they sleep with it. This is a war going on all day, every day, all day, all night in the whole world.
Yes, Master.
Right.
Yeah, so we don't need to talk about war between humans either. It's similar. It's the same war, just on the innocent, a bystander who has done nothing wrong. So I told you this world is hell. Almost hell. Oh, God. All right. Any other better question?
Yes, Master. Bill Gates said that Omicron will spread immunity faster than vaccines. Has Master talked to the COVID chief recently about this?
Okay. Mr. Bill Gates, he did not know about the long-term effect.
Yes, Master.
That's why I said like that, because people think Omicron is mild, remember?
Yes,
Yes.
right.
And there's already another Omicron subvariant. So don't worry, if this one spreads immunity, the other one will bring disimmunity. If the humans don't change, then their fate will not change.
Yes, Master.
Right.
That's right.
It might change a little bit here and there for some individuals or groups if they repent and change their way of life into the non-violent side. Then it would change. But as a whole, humans do not want to change. The evidence is that the Court of England rejects the petition of their people
Yes, true.
that they should stop violence to the animal people, to stop these zoonotic, all kinds of pandemic diseases.
Yes,
The
Master.
top leaders, the justice, who are supposed to exercise justice, are like that. How do you expect other humans, normal citizens, to change? Oh, God, it's so impossible. It's so unimaginable that the governments everywhere, some are so corrupt
Yes.
Master.
and so weak, so cowardly. I don't know what to say anymore.
Yes, Master.
Sometimes I have hope, sometimes not. And concerning the COVID chief lately, whether or not I talked to him, I did. Just to clarify a little more, I asked the COVID chief why he told me that Omicron is not going to relent. But now it seems like the COVID-19 winds down in many places, at least several places in the world. So is it going to get better or not? Or is it not necessarily? It's just that the people, after he told me in his exact words, quote, because your warning has had an effect on people, they believed and they pray very hard and they repented and many turn vegan. That's why they get better. Unquote. They themselves are protected. And it seems Omicron or COVID has relented. But they have to continue keeping that way.
Yes, Master.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will come back in a different form or in a different variant. That's what the COVID chief told me. I was a little happy, of course, and I thanked him. I said, wow, I hope people will continue to keep up with their vigilance and not relaxing after things are getting better. I hope they keep their virtuous, gentle way of life, not eating animal people, and not being violent anymore in any form to any beings on this planet. They have to live frugally, gently, benevolently, and very, very humbly, and pray every day. Then things will get better. You see now?
Yes, Master.
Yes.
Any more questions?
Yes, Finland's president said that Russian President Putin has changed in recent phone call exchanges between the two, saying that it was a different kind of behavior, that the Russian president sounds more decisive now. Master, why has Putin changed?
It's not just the Finland president. When the president of France, His Excellency Macron, went to meet President Putin personally,
Yeah.
He also sensed that Putin is a different person somehow,
Right.
different energy. Yeah.
Wow.
And I guess many other leaders also felt similar, but they did not voice it.
Yes, Master.
Not voice their feeling or opinion. There are many factors.
Yes, Master.
Of course, many factors. It's like to show off, to win the war and to get more land and stuff like that. But one of the strong reasons was the vaccine.
Oh.
The vaccine changes people, slowly or quickly.
Wow.
It is side effect.
Wow.
Some side effects people found out, some side effects people did not find out.
I see.
The same with Omicron, the COVID chief told that some of the side effects of Omicron are not obvious to the scientists and doctors.
Right, yes.
It will not be.
Oh, yes, Master.
That's what he told. And haven't told me this is the effect of the vaccine on Putin. I feel sorry for him. But I feel more sorry for the innocent citizens of both countries.
Yes,
Yes.
Master.
Yeah, being anxious, worried, and fearful
Yes,
of
true.
what comes next if the war breaks out. All the medicines, they have side effects.
Yes, that's right, Master.
And then if that person is already in isolation, as he is, he is completely isolated. He hardly appears in the crowd, in the public, or in the government, and even any world leader or any people who want to come to see him have to go through a tunnel of disinfection. So this is the thing.
He's a man out of touch. He sits in the Kremlin, isolated. The circle of advisors around him, I'm told, has shrunk and shrunk until it's just a handful of people. And he's been in this isolated, brooding period during COVID. Nobody sees him. People can't even get in to talk to him. Remember those crazy pictures of him at the long table? You know, what kind of a leader is that who sits, is like a bowling alley table? But that's Putin. And we're seeing, I think, in this unrealistic policy driving the invasion, the effects of that isolation.
President Putin is already in isolation.
Yes, Master.
It's not his type already. He's an active person. He was very active. He's into martial arts. He was flying personal flight with the trains and all that. And he's everywhere. He was everywhere, talking to the youth, talking to his parliament, talking to his government, and, talking to world leaders. And now he is so fearful of COVID, even though he is vaccinated. And so the vaccine does something to him, makes him more aggressive, more go-getting. And also he's isolated. That frustrates people.
Yes, Master.
So he feels also very frustrated and suffocated.
Yes, Master.
To sit in your own home or palace and get whatever meal you get and in front of the TV or computer, it's not a life. So can you imagine how ordinary citizens have to be locked up in their own little tiny apartments? Not everyone can afford a big apartment even.
Yes.
Most leaders, if they want to run for president, they are for the public.
Yes, true.
And they will miss it whether they don't have it. So he felt frustrated,
Yes.
And he felt also a helplessness with the male ego because NATO was almost like surrounding his country. Not like they wanted to do anything, they're just expanding their base.
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe after Crimea or maybe just to protect their own territories and Europe as a whole. He feels like he lost his macho image because the Russian people seemed like they looked up to him. So he felt frustrated and smaller than he would like to be. All this ate him up.
Yes.
Yes.
So you can see that he feels frustrated and worked up inside.
Yes.
I also saw a few of his photos recently. He changed.
Yeah.
First of all, he looked fatter.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Father.
Maybe good food or eating too much out of frustration and not doing too much because of isolation.
Yes.
And his face is hardened. You know, his look, his eyes and all that. Before he used to be more, relaxed
Yes.
and
That's
softer, gentle and more smiling. Now he looks kind of hard, the face. So maybe because the inside affects his look as well.
Yes, Master, that's right.
So now you get it, yeah? Why he changed?
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
yes.
It affects people differently, you see?
Yes, Master.
And people just maybe don't notice, or maybe they are just a commoner. They don't have any chance to exercise any power at the international level.
Yes.
Yes.
But this president, he has power.
Yes.
Yes.
And it looked like the parliament never opposed him or anything. Looked like it's all his.
Right.
Yeah, all his people. If it's not his people, then they would not be there. Okay, any more questions?
Yes, Master. Should the world be worried about Mr. Putin's intentions now that we know that he has this vaccine in him, which is driving him to be more aggressive?
Yeah.
Should the world be worried that maybe he'll be too aggressive and wage war?
Let me think. Let me check. He's kind of waging war already.
Yes, Master.
It's just not too obvious yet, but it is. He doesn't even have to make war to destabilize Ukraine or invade Ukraine. He just invades one part at a time.
Right, Master.
Like dividing to rule.
Yes.
Once you divide an entity or a group, they're weakened. Yeah.
Yes.
So after Crimea, he feels like he could do more. Also because the West or America kind of give him an excuse. So right now, even NATO says that they will not discuss about Ukraine joining NATO, okay? Even then, Putin is still around. The army, his military is still around everywhere.
Yes.
Yes.
Around Ukraine borders or nearby borders. The thing is, after Crimea, the West gave many sanctions to Russia, and he doesn't like that, of course. Of course, no country would like that, even though their country is still okay and rich and strong. But no leader would like to be controlled like that.
Yes.
Yes,
Master.
Form of control or limit, like restriction. No one leader would like that. So he's already brewing. And now he has his own isolation because he fears COVID and also the vaccination and the booster and all that. That's driving him hot, heated up with all these side effects. You see, because the meat-eating people, they easily get more side effects than the vegan people.
Right.
Or even vegetarian people. Less. The vegan people have more resistance. The vegetarian people, some degree less.
Yes.
Yes.
But still, not as bad as those meat-eating people. The meat eaters already bring into their bodies so much poison
That's right.
Right.
and anguish, energy from the dying, suffering, horrible death of the animal people. You see?
Yes, Master.
Yes.
All that energy is already brewing in these meat-eating people, especially if they're glutinous about it. Glutinous in eating meat.
Yes, Master.
So many side effects they just ignore or they just think it won't happen to them.
Oh, that's true.
But it happens. Combined with meat, aggressive energy and poison and all that stuff. It's brewing inside some people, and they can't control it.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
So, of course, the world worried. They do worry already. And NATO already said they don't discuss Ukraine joining NATO because that was the excuse for Putin. One of the main excuses for Putin to put military around Ukraine, near the border.
Yes, Master.
And now NATO said we don't discuss it. Many European people say, oh, that's not on the table. Anyway, he's still there.
Yes.
Now they try to tell us not to strengthen the eastern flank. NATO didn't have any military presence in the eastern flank before 2014, after the illegal annexation of Crimea. They want to have Ukraine in their sphere of influence. Was the result of the continuous war in the Donbass and the annexation of Crimea and the threat today against Ukraine. 10 years ago, only 20% of Ukrainian people wanted to join NATO and the EU. Today we have 60-something%. So in a way, we hope that Russia will realize that what they do, they get the opposite of their intentions.
And now he even say that Ukraine historically belongs to Russia. And now he recognizes these so-called rebellious regions.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
But the Russians have been back in this region already since long ago. After Crimea, they backed some of the regions, I think 2 or 3 regions, to become rebellious and stay away from Ukraine, united, no more.
With the stroke of a pen, Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed to redraw the map of Europe. He recognized the self-declared republics Donetsk and Luhansk that, for nearly 8 years, have been partially controlled by Russian-backed separatists. In Donetsk tonight, pro-Russian Ukrainians wave Russian flags, after Putin called Ukraine a colony with a puppet regime and warned of further fights.
In the beginning, they say that the Crimea requested to join Russia. And they all say because of financial support and all that, I don't know what. Any excuse will do. So they annexed Crimea. And then after that, other regions follow suit and Russia. Also, of course, back them. It's their advantage, no?
Yes, yes.
I don't think the Russian people wanted to do that. It's just the politicians, the ambitious leaders. So now that they have some regions boiling with conflict, President Putin can ask his military to move there. It's a breakaway region. We can move in.
Yes.
It's not Ukraine anymore, blah, blah. Any excuse.
Yes,
Yes.
So he doesn't have to even openly or grandly invade Ukraine. It's just destabilize it.
Right.
Bad enough already for the world to be on its feet.
Yes, Master.
See, politics is very dirty, very ugly, and very, very gruesome. They don't care about innocent people dying. They don't care about destroying people's homes. They don't care about destabilizing peace. They just do it because of their ego, because of their ambition, just because they can.
Right.
Yes, Master.
You should not do it just because you have the power to do. You should do anything because it's necessary. That's how a leader should be. You have to consider other citizens' welfare, peace, happiness. They don't want much from the government. Normally, if life is peaceful, they work, they earn their own living, they take care of their family, they pay taxes. They are peaceful.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Only the big-headed leaders on the top are always causing trouble in the world since time immemorial already.
Right.
It's not just in Ukraine. Things are, like simmering elsewhere as well. Even Nepal, like a very remote country on top of the world,
Yes, Master.
still simmering conflict between U.S. and China because they want the land for influence, for power, for control. Not just want the land, but then they can control the region, the neighboring countries. If Ukraine is taken, Russia is expanded, and they will have their military, all kind of equipment there ready for other neighbors if they need it.
Right.
Yes, Master.
Yeah, that's a problem. You see, first Crimea and now other regions. If you fight with each other within the country, then the foreign country can take advantage of that
Right.
Yes, Master.
and make you suffer. Now Russia is like trying to eat Ukraine one bite at a time. So I don't know. It's just a matter of time that whatever happens, we don't know.
Right, yes, ma'am.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know all these ugly, hellish people that try to harm others. It's not only Putin, but the backing army also.
Yes.
He cannot alone do that. But it seems like he controls everything in Russia. And the karma of the world, don't forget.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So the humans are the cause of everything. The humans' bad behavior, violent way of life is directly or indirectly the root cause of everything, of war, of pandemic, of zoonotic disease, of any conflict, of any economic problem, drought, flood, fire, everything. Okay, we are responsible for everything.
Yes,
Master.
Cannot just blame Putin or anyone alone. But also, I told you before, if Biden is the president, things will get terrible.
Yes, right.
They will lose the trust of the international community. See, they're not so warm with America.
Right.
Yes, Master.
Vice President Joe Biden met Vladimir Putin. He told him he had no soul. More recently, he said he was a killer. Mr. Putin hit back. Takes one to know one.
By the way, this never would have happened with us had I been in office. Not even thinkable. This would never have happened.
If Trump was there, he was more friendly with Russia, and they would be on better terms. And this would not have happened. I told you already. I told you already. I cry not because Trump lost. I don't care about Trump or not Trump, anybody, as long as they're good for their country and the world. It's okay.
Yes, right, Master.
I cry so much, even openly or privately, because I knew things will happen. Terrible things will happen to many countries and for the world as well.
Yes, Master.
All right, now we just have to watch whatever unfolds. Terrible. And Putin, because of this, he will go to hell with his armies. That is the thing. Very sad thing. Even if he invades Ukraine, he will not have anything out of it. He cannot have more policies out of it. For what, right?
Right.
He cannot have more taxes. For what? He can only spend so much per day and eat so much only to his fill. So it's very, very stupid to make war. But also the West is to blame, many other things. If the war is divided into different groups, they're bound to have war.
All right, Master.
Yes, Master.
Because of a matter of interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interest and ego, and also to spend war money because of weapons production. They show off.
Yeah.
And the people who produce weapons want to sell.
Right.
These are conflicts of interest that are about to happen if the world is not harmonized with each other. There is a song that came to my mind right now. It's very famous from Dolly Parton. She says, "You can have any man you want, but I cannot love again. Please don't take my man just because you can."
That's right.
Yes, Master.
Please don't take him just because you can.
You see, because that girl, she probably is too beautiful, too attractive, or she knows how. So she can take any man she wants. So she says, "You can have any man, but don't take mine just because you can."
That's right.
Yes, right.
Yeah, because she knows this woman is very powerful enough. You see, the same in politics. You don't invade people. You don't provoke people. You don't show off your might to embarrass other nations' leaders or to frighten other country citizens just because you can.
Right.
Right. Yes, Master.
That's equal to being bully and coward at the same time.
Right.
You see, because you don't have enough heroism in you. You don't have enough decency in you to know that you have the power but not use it for unjustified cause.
Yes,
Yes, Master.
Even if you make excuses, the whole of humankind will know it. The whole heavens, universe know it. It doesn't matter what kind of talk you make. Doesn't matter how many excuses you have. It's all nonsense. It's all just bloodthirsty. It's all just, warmonger ambition.
Yes,
Yes, Master.
The Buddha says, if you put down the knife, the butcher knife, you can become Buddha.
Wow. Yeah.
Right away even.
Wow.
Is it true also? If, for example, President Putin just changed his mind, changed his heart, immediately things get better.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
It's easy to have an excuse to make war, but it is for a real good gentleman to uphold peace.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, and talk with each other. It's not fun to go down in history as the mass murderers of a population.
Yes.
It's not fun to go down in history as the bloodthirsty monster
Right, Master.
who kill women, children, and elderly alike en masse, no matter what reason.
Yes,
Yes.
Only nobility can last. Only peacemakers can go to heaven. If Putin is supposed to believe in God, they have Russian Orthodox Christian faith in their country.
Yes, Master.
And I cannot believe that Putin is so ignorant of his national faith. He should remember his faith. He should remember that as you sow, so shall you reap. It's not only in Christianity, but in Islam, in Hinduism, in Buddhism, in Jainism, they all mention that.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Similar, even if they don't say as you sow, so shall you reap. But they say similar things. So I hope Putin will wake up soon and make peace with Ukraine and take away his evil influence from those rebellious regions.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master. We hope so.
I hope
also.
so too.
Take away his inspiration for them to rebel, to be rebellious and separate from their own country and citizens and nation.
Yes,
Yes,
Right.
Master.
Yes, Master.
Because that weakens their country. You are a citizen of Ukraine. You have to work for your country. That's your duty. And if you don't do your duty well, you will go to hell also. Not to talk about killing people or killing children because of your miscalculation of a drone attack or of a bomb attack, whatever.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Yeah, they just use computer and it's like a war game, but it's not a game. It's real suffering. It's real human life. And just like in Afghanistan before,
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
Biden say they bombed the agents of terrorists. They didn't. They killed the whole family and their relatives as well,
That's right,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
including children. And America is very high-tech, sophisticatedly high-tech in war.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Yes.
That's true.
And they still can make mistakes.
Yes.
Right.
Imagine Ukraine is not very high-tech in war games.
No.
Yeah, they can't even defend themselves. They're back in the international community to help them. They say we cannot defend our own country because they have not been trained in war. I hope one day no country will ever have to train anybody to kill anybody else for whatever reason.
Yes,
Yes,
Master.
Master.
It's terrible. Don't take it just because you can. That's what I say.
Yes.
I will use a very simple, common woman singer. Don't take them just because you can. You see, even such a simple, of course he's famous, but just a simple woman, she still can utter something good like that.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
Don't take him just because you can. Don't take any country just because you can. And I go further. Don't threaten any country just because you can.
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
Because this is so ugly. It's bullying and it's ugly. It's cowardly.
Yes.
It is cowardly. It's not heroism. It's not even bullying. It's cowardly.
Yes.
Yeah.
For your own interest or for anything that you use a killing tactic or threatening tactic. This is below dignity. Low of the low. It's low life. It's low life, I would call it. Anyone would engage in such tactics unnecessarily or because of their own personal interest or ego of their country, whatever, is never going to do well. They are cowards and low life. I dare say that in their face. They have to change. They must change. Otherwise, the hell will change them forever. They will never get out of hell if they don't change because of the big karma of killing so many innocents and all this suffering that they inflict upon others, they will have it millionfold and forever and non-stop in hell. I know all that. Even if they don't know that, I want to tell them it is real. Hell is real. And nobody should put themselves into a position to suffer in hell. They should avoid that. They could. All of them could avoid it. Life is short, but hell is forever. Hell is long. Life is short here on the planet, but hell is long. And it could be forever long. That's all I want to say. Oh, God, I hope they will change. Otherwise, my God, they would never get out of hell. These warmongers.
Most benevolent Master, we thank you for once again reminding us that peace is the true victory, while war brings only suffering and loss. We pray for all the vulnerable innocents afflicted during this time of immense crisis. To ensure our future existence, we must wake up and change the course of our actions by leaving animal people products off our plates and respecting the lives of all citizens for lasting peace on earth. May cherished Master have a tranquil heart, be in the best of health, and protected by all divine beings. To learn how heaven has arranged a countermeasure against COVID-19, if ascended masters can give initiation, why Master often has to move locations, and more, please tune in to Between Master and Disciples on Thursday, April 7th, 2022 for the full broadcast of this conference. Also, for your reference, please check out previous related Fly-In News or Between Master and Disciples conferences, such as Fly-In News, the ingredients needed to awaken our God power within, important information from the Chief of COVID, treasure others' lives by making peace. Between Master and Disciples, Supreme Master Ching Hai's courageous work for the world. People need true, strong, and wise leaders. Women have to be protected and respected. A president should protect his people's lives. Vengeance never brings peace. The true jihad. The true saint title. Being vegan brings out our love and benevolence. Real compassion and moral standards is the real solution.